It happened again. We joked last week that every time we want to record, people get fired, but it's starting to not become a joke anymore. More people have been fired.
Yep.
So, and
Unfortunately.
these names, I mean, I don't know if this makes any sense. I was surprised by some of the names, but then again, I remember who we're dealing with, and I wasn't surprised. Were you surprised?
I mean, a couple right off the bat, yeah, were surprising. A couple of them you can kind of see coming.
Mm-hmm.
Two of them I thought were very surprising because one had just started a new storyline, and one is literally like Vince McMahon traditionally has a hard on for these types of guys. So it's like, what?
Yeah, I guess not anymore. I'm trying to figure out if.
Well, they said I've been reading today online that there's could be a couple reasons. In 2019, he signed a monster of a deal. He was getting paid over $1 million a year.
Okay.
And Braun, the way that they were writing for him was not worth $1 million a year.
Okay. Meaning he wanted to be booked better, like.
No, I just think he should have been booked stronger than the way that they have been for the kind of money that they were paying him.
Right. So you thought they were just paying him to supposedly keep him happy, but he wasn't happy with how they were booking him.
Oh, I would say that probably I'm assuming that he wasn't happy with how he was being booked. Like the, I don't know, always a bridesmaid's never a bride type of thing. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh yeah, we'll put you in a championship match, but you're not going to win it.
Yeah.
And that happens several times. And then I mean, that just makes the guy look weak. And that's not what he is. He's a monster of a man.
Although he was the champ for a little while.
Yeah, I think that he could have been utilized better, but I think Vince McMahon has a shiny new toy with Omos because he's taller.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. You're right. Omos is a little taller.
It's not a little bit. It's
well, like, yeah, he's like 7'4", 7'3", something like that.
He's 7'3", and Braun is 6'8". So I mean, if they were to stand next to each other, it's a sizable difference. You can't be the big bad giant and not be the tallest guy in the room. I don't know. I guess.
Yeah. So
that's a big show.
Yeah, I wasn't too surprised about Lana though, because and honestly, Lana might be the one I'm happiest for of this list of people I got
fired. I'm happiest for Aleister Black. I think they would have somehow managed to find a way to screw everything up.
Mm-hmm.
With this new character and everything, they would have found a way to screw it up because they always do, and because they don't know how to do anything supernatural that's not The Undertaker.
Well, that was just a once in a lifetime, just the planets aligning and everything worked, and they had the right guy to do it. And also, It was at the right time where that was more believable.
Yeah, and to be fair, like, this is believable. He was like a demon, like, put on Earth. That's what Aleister Black was. A demon put on Earth, and like he didn't know that he was a demon.
Mm-hmm.
He recently said that like in a Twitch stream or something.
Yeah, all you had to do really was follow what they did at NXT. Just have them sit Indian style, crisscross applesauce in the middle of the ring, and just wheel kick everybody in the face and beat everybody in a minute, and just quietly go to the back. It's the whole Goldberg thing. For whatever reason, for some guys, it works. Until you fuck it up, which is what happened here.
But he's a hell of a talker. You saw those vignettes. He's good. He can cut a promo. He's not Goldberg.
No, he can cut a promo, but I think with him, less is more. He can talk, but not all the time.
Oh, absolutely. I was excited to see this whole cult leader, whatever the hell he was going to do. Apparently he talked about that he was going to get a new theme and everything, and that he thought that it was even better than the one from NXT. I was like, damn, we're never going to hear that. That sucks. Which he was on Twitch. He was actually on Zelina Vega's Twitch. So that was his way around the no compete thing that you can't basically show up anywhere.
Mhm.
It's on somebody else's channel. So,
It's like being a guest on someone's podcast. You can do whatever you want in that regard, I think.
yeah, he basically, yeah, it's essentially that. And some fan, I think, tweeted at him and he was like, I see you going the John Moxley route and basically just fighting whoever the hell you want. Like, it doesn't matter the promotion. He's just going to fight whoever he wants. And he's like, why not?
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes, and he wrote back, he's like, speaking of Mox, we have unfinished business. I was like, oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I like it. I'm here for it. They should do it.
Yeah, he's already hyping himself up for whatever he's doing next. He's not gonna not wrestle. So
of course not. Well, you saw his Instagram post, right?
Which?
Aleister Black, where he said at the end of it was a long thing, like kind of.
Oh, was it the that rest in peace, Aleister Black, long live Tommy End?
Yes.
So
yeah. So he's going to continue wrestling, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I totally can foresee that being something that he does, because he can go to Japan and kill it. He can go to AEW and kill it. Wherever he's going to go, he's going to kill it. He fits in anywhere.
Anywhere.
He's plug and play.
For sure. And his wife his wife is still with WWE. So
no, apparently she has not signed a contract, according to what I was reading.
So all we know is that she was working out with Simone Johnson in the Performance Center. That's all we know.
It was shooting some sort of vignette outside. I don't know to what effect, but there's no contract that's signed, according to everybody online. So she's free to she can go do whatever the hell she wants.
Okay, so
she's still on Twitch.
Yeah, so it's possible that footage never sees the light of day. That they might just scrap it.
Yeah, that might not ever happen.
Okay,
given what just happened.
Yeah, well, this is the kind of stuff that makes me not want to watch at the very least Raw. I can't remember the last time I sat down and watched a full episode of Raw, and it shows in the ratings.
I've been watching. Yeah, the ratings were terrible, but it was Memorial Day, so I'm gonna give it a pass for that. But it is almost unwatchable. If it wasn't for Alexa Bliss and kudos to Jimmy Smith on commentary, he blew it out of the friggin' water on day one. I loved it. I was like, oh, this guy knows the names of moves and he knows what the names of the finishers. I was like, oh wow, this guy studied up.
That's important to know that?
Know the names of finishers? Absolutely not.
Good. Okay. Well, at least they hit a home run there.
Yeah, I think they've got a keeper there. I liked it. That was one of the few bright spots of Raw. Charlotte is always a highlight.
Mm-hmm.
So is Rhea just needs to not talk on the microphone, or they need to not script her. I don't know what it is, but they need to tweak it a little bit, because it's kind of boring whenever she's on the mic.
You don't say. What a surprise.
It's just not believable. She's like, I don't know. She sounds like it sounds like scripted garbage. So.
Well, yeah, when you're not saying your own words, it shows. It becomes obvious after a while.
Mm-hmm. I'm over it. I don't think it's not enough that I think that she should drop the strap to anybody just yet, unless if just Becky Lynch shows up and then everybody just hand the belts over to her. All of them.
All the belts. She's the king of WWE.
Hand them all over. Even the tribal chief. Just hand it over.
A face-off with the tribal chief. I want to see it.
The man versus the tribal chief. I dig it.
I dig it. Well, speaking of scripted promos and all that, you did see, we were talking about this earlier, you saw CM Punk's post. For those of you that might be watching that didn't see it, this was his quote. It's like, this is starting here. It's like watching a blockbuster budget. Let me start over. It's like watching a movie with a blockbuster budget and cost, but if it's written by creatively bankrupt nincompoops specifically for an audience of one, it's trash. But people watch it because they like movies.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's why I watch it, because I enjoy wrestling.
It's still
But
wrestling.
it's so far away from what it could be
Mhm.
that it makes you sad.
Yeah, no more than that. It's just
Especially when you see the it's such a stark contrast when you watch SmackDown and NXT and then you watch Raw. I don't know what happens on Raw, but it's like a dumpster fire every week.
Mhm.
It's the same people writing the stuff for SmackDown. It's the same people. There's only one creative team.
There's got to be someone else in charge of SmackDown. Is there like a head writer for SmackDown and a head writer for Raw, like there used to be? Or
All I know is that it's the same creative team and like the same creative writers. So who is Vince McMahon less involved on SmackDown and more involved on Raw? I don't know. Like, or does like Fox have more say over what happens on their show? I don't know. But
I would go with that.
Fox may have more say, so they'd be like, hey, we need a lot more Roman Reigns on the show today because that got viewers last week, so we're gonna run with that this week.
Yeah.
Whereas Raw just seems, and every week I hear the reports or read the reports. Script got ripped up at 5 p.m. They had to rewrite it all.
Mhm.
You're like, how is everybody supposed to memorize their lines, believe them, like in a span of 3 hours?
You don't. It gets to the point that they're reading cue cards. I saw a post of someone or a YouTube video. I think it was Damian Priest that on the video, like
Oh, you can tell.
the guy says, "Follow. Look at his eyes. It looks like he's reading something as he's talking."
Yep, I remember that. I specifically called it out because I was watching it with Vicky, and I was like, he's reading off a cue card right now.
Hmm.
I was like, he's not even looking. He wasn't looking at the camera, and he wasn't looking at the interviewer. He was looking at something else.
He's just looking off, like
Yeah, like just like that. I was like, yo, at least look at the camera.
at
Like,
least
or
try to look.
at least look at the interviewer, actually. At least look at her.
Hmm. And you would think, oh, why don't they just, get an idea of what the script is and just wing it? The problem is, and Moxley said this on, it wasn't Jericho's podcast, it was another podcast that he did that he went even deeper on WWE and his time there.
I wonder if it was on Busted Open, but either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, he did a few of them, but on one of these interviews, he was like, the legends always come out and say, well, just go unscripted. That's like grabbing the brass ring. The problem with that is it's someone's job on the line. If it's not yours, it's one of the writers, one of the producers, someone, if Vince is in a mood, would get canned, and that's someone who's got to pay a mortgage and take care of their kids. So
Right. Oh, I mean, CM Punk hit the nail on the head, right? Like everybody's working for an audience of one right now because there's no crowds.
right. Well, it was starting to get like that even before COVID, but even more so now. It was.
Now it's evident.
Yeah.
It's just before you were like, oh, they kind of fixed it. They added Daniel Bryan to that thing, and even though the crowd clearly that's what they wanted, and they weren't going to do it, and then they were like, we're going to lose the show if we do, so we'll throw him in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, right. It's just, does Vince like it? Is Vince okay with the script? Okay, our jobs are safe for another week.
Yeah, and apparently when they did the first round of firings with Samoa Joe and all these people, they had the week after, they had or the day after, I don't know, they had a reassurance meeting, like basically like, everyone, your jobs are safe, and everybody was like, we know that they are not. You're like, Jesus.
They just saw right through that.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, sure, okay. They're like, you're one bad line away from fucking canned. Bye.
Right. Or
and
someone getting canned.
Also, hoarding all this talent for this many years has proven to be a detriment to the product. You've hoarded all these people. You don't know what to do with them all. because you only have so many hours on television,
Right.
and you refuse to cycle through them. So all these people in catering want out.
Mhm. Yeah, all the people
And
that
now
are
there's actual viable options that are out there.
right. Yeah, all the people that are just sitting in the back, like basically sitting on the bench in case whatever they need a last minute replacement.
In some cases, they weren't even sitting in the back; they were sitting at home,
Yeah.
not doing anything, just training for nothing. That's what they were doing.
Hmm.
Just training in hopes that Vince McMahon changes his mind and will use me this week. Like,
Yeah.
sweet Jesus.
I mean, and these are big, for the most part, big names getting cut the last couple of rounds of firings. It's going to get to the point that it's going to feel like the roster's cut in half, which is why I was thinking,
Oh, somebody posted like the active roster for SmackDown. It's Finn.
yeah,
I am hopeful that when we're going to get a few debuts on the first couple live shows. Like, I think the first live SmackDown, we're going to get some new females, maybe some people call ups from NXT. There's going to be like an exodus from NXT that I think comes up, and we'll see if Vince ruins them or not.
what I don't like is I see this coming. I see like like you said, a mass exodus from NXT. It's never good to just pluck too many guys and girls from NXT and just make NXT hit the reset button, because they've done that a couple times, and NXT's recovered.
You don't have to. There's certain people they can pull back up, because after this this In Your House that's coming up for NXT, I don't think that Finn Balor is going to take the belt off of Karrion Kross. So I think he's done there. You can bring him back up. Apparently, the Raw writers have been asking for him for months, and they haven't given it to him. So there's a couple guys like that. I don't know if they're ever going to give him the belt, so might as well move him up. Pete Dunne, that's another guy that you can move up.
I was going to say Adam Cole, too.
Adam Cole could do it, too. I don't know if he's done with Kyle O'Reilly. But if he is, then yeah, he's ready to go. You know he is. We all know he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's ready.
On the female side, you could plug this girl in wherever. You could Mercedes Martinez. You could bring her up. Obviously not as part of Retribution. And Io Shirai.
Oh, you froze. You there?
Oh no, you froze now.
Well, you're back now.
Yeah, you froze. You're like all red right now on your Wi-Fi. Now it's back.
All right. That was weird. You froze and then I froze. Can you see? Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see. What was the last thing that you heard?
Oh, God, you were talking about the women, Io Shirai, and then you said something after that, and that was it.
Oh, Io Shirai. She's done it all in NXT. You can bring her up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she necessarily needs the rematch with Raquel Gonzalez.
What about Shotzi Blackheart? You think she's ready, or she needs more time?
Yeah, you can bring her up. Ember Moon has been a former NXT Women's Champion. She just did the tag team thing with Shotzi. There's some females there that can fill some spots. None of them will replace Billie Kay or Peyton Royce, in my opinion, because I don't think any of them are even remotely funny. So
stop trying to. You know what? That's what they're trying to do, I think, with Nia Jax and what's her face? You know who I'm talking about. I'm forgetting her name. Shayna Baszler. They're trying to do the comedy act with them, and it's just not landing.
Because you telling me the serious MMA woman is going to start cracking jokes? Absolutely not. Doesn't it? No. Just
I don't
no.
get it. Oh, and
let Nia Jax and Reginald be a comedy act. Let them do like the Carmella R-Truth thing if they want to do that. Dance offs, the whole thing. Literally copy paste it, and that'll work. Kind of.
Oh, by the way, what is Vince's obsession with Reginald? Because obviously he finds him hilarious.
he likes the flippy shit that he can do. I don't know. He's a
You can
Cirque du Soleil dude.
you can tell who Vince is enamored with. This one I'm kind of okay with. He loves Matthew Riddle, and
Damn right he does. Because who doesn't? Communist. That's who.
he loves Riddle. They formed RK Bro. That I'm for. I'm all for that. But
Oh yeah. And I tagged you yesterday. They finally got merch, baby.
they got merch, yes, with a snake on a scooter that's high as a kite.
Oh my god. That's the shirt that I'm buying, by the way. I have to have that one.
But over the years, he's had crushes on these random people, like R-Truth has. Why, I don't know. And really, it's him doing silly stuff because he's very good in the ring, but we haven't seen it in over a decade.
Yeah, I know. No, he finds him wildly hilarious. Apparently, Vince McMahon must be like a huge fan of like the Three Stooges because he loves like physical comedy.
Right. He loves comedy that's not relevant anymore.
Like I said, Three Stooges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nia Jax falling on her butt and screaming "my hole." I'm sure he died laughing in Gorilla when she did
Yeah,
it.
I needed to see it just the one time. I thought that it was hilarious the one time. I replayed it a couple times just for sure entertainment value. But I didn't need to see it the following week, the week after that, at the pay-per-view. Unnecessary.
Vince did, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So a lot of problems, as always. But we did, since we last recorded, we did watch Double or Nothing.
Yes.
I think overall a successful show.
Solid, and I was 100% correct.
You were 100% correct. The two that we differed on, I was wrong. I thought Brian Cage was going to win. To my surprise and delight, Adam Page won. So good with that. And the other one, the Pinnacle. I thought for sure the Pinnacle was winning, and I wasn't alone. A lot of people thought the Pinnacle were winning, but the Inner Circle won, which also I'm happy with.
I think that if there's gonna be, it has to have a third match. It had to be one over the other. I didn't think that it was gonna be a clean sweep from the Pinnacle. I've always viewed it as like a 3-match thing. I don't know what they're gonna do to outdo Stadium Stampede, but
yeah, I don't know either. Maybe just a regular match. I don't know. That's the only thing they haven't done.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Regular traditional wrestling match. Who knows?
Maybe I don't know. That only worked because of Orange Cassidy. That was like an orange punch, a blood orange match.
Yeah. What they could do is like some kind of gauntlet match thing, or just like, you know how certain guys certain guys in each faction have rivalries with another guy.
You know what you could do? A Survivor Series match.
You could, yeah, I was going to say a Survivor Series match, or have them fight one-on-one in separate matches, but that would take up like an entire pay-per-view.
Yeah, it would. I think the Survivor Series match that they get eliminated one by one.
Yeah.
That sounds, I don't know what they'd call it because they clearly can't call it a Survivor Series match, but that might be the way to end that one. That just struck my brain.
Yeah.
Like lightning bolt struck my brain.
They just got to go and look at go into the thesaurus and just get another word for Survivor and Series. Kind of like Lexicon del Champion.
Yeah.
Just change the wording.
Be like, perseverance thing. I don't know.
They'll come up with something smart. They always do. But I think
there's some old obscure NWA kind of match, or WCW had a similar match. They'll bring that back.
Something that WWE doesn't have the trademark for or something.
Yeah, something that's like wildly outdated that they'll somehow make new.
Mm-hmm.
Like a bull rope match. Mm-hmm. Never saw that in my life. And I've seen 2 now in the span of AEW's existence.
Yeah. I think my favorite moment of the night was Jungle Boy winning the Battle Royal. and seeing a sold out Daly's Place singing along and waving their arms to his music.
Yes.
That was my favorite part of the shit.
What I think I enjoyed most is probably the same exact moment, but for a different reason. It was
Christian.
when like Christian like gave him like the like seal of approval, and he was like, don't waste your shot type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that's pretty cool, getting the rub from the old man.
Mm-hmm. That was cool to see. That whole match, beginning to end and after, fantastic. People did say, and Cody was getting a lot of crap for this online, getting compared to Triple H, that saying that he buried Anthony Ogogo, that Anthony Ogogo should have gone over.
No.
Cody's put over a lot of young talent. He put over MJF.
If Cody, hold on, let me rephrase that. If Anthony Ogogo was the leader of that faction, then yes, I'd compare him to Triple H. But Anthony Ogogo is not the leader of that faction.
QT Marshall.
It's QT Marshall. That's the person that you should put over. But even then, Cody's not going to lose to QT Marshall. Sorry.
I was okay with the results. The live crowd was cool with it. Anthony Ogogo, I think either way, this doesn't bury him. He has a bright future. The match could have gone a little longer, but I think he has a bright future.
Yeah, no, he solid. His story's cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're on pins and needles about him because you don't know if that's going to be his last match. Because if you hit him in the eye one more time,
right, and he's got the
blind in one eye.
He's got the boxer thing. He's got the boxer thing, so he's got a built-in finisher. Just punch a guy, and that's his finisher.
Knock the guy out. Cool.
Yeah, I like him. I don't think he got buried. I don't think that one match kills it for him.
Yeah, I don't know how much time we have left, but we had originally talked about putting like fantasy booking as to how we would get certain people on AEW or wherever they want to go.
Well, we have like 7 minutes left, so I don't know if we can do it today, but since you brought that up, we will do it for the next episode.
All right.
For reminding me. We had to recap Double or Nothing and recap the firings, so.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. But next week, yeah, we will do the fantasy booking of how we think some of these big names should be brought in to AEW. If they get brought in to AEW, how would it happen? And what storylines would they get put in? It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, and I guess to wrap it up, one of the last rumors that I had read for the day was apparently kind of the reason for the budget cuts might be Brock Lesnar.
That like who said that?
I read a couple people say that he's like almost a lock for SummerSlam. So if that's the case, I think the internet's probably going to lose their minds, because firing all these people to keep Brock Lesnar seems like a bad move.
That's a very Vinnie Mackles thing to do. So it is.
Sense. I was like, it's just crazy. Like, Braun Strowman was in a Universal title match last month, and he fought a McMahon at WrestleMania, and now he's no longer with the company. 3 months later.
No one's job not named Roman Reigns is safe.
Yeah, aside from 2 or 3 guys, I guess you're safe.
Yeah, really, honestly. 2 or 3 guys, 2 girls, that's about it.
Yeah. Cena is definitely one of them.
Mm-hmm. Charlotte. She ain't going.
Charlotte's one. She ain't going nowhere.
Edge.
I think they will fight tooth and nail to keep Becky Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps Asuka. Who knows?
I think her job is safe.
We'll see. Yeah, that was the last thing, and that is a very big thing to do. That Brock Lesnar, but if the payoff is that we get Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley, I don't think I hate it.
I don't hate it. It's something that even I've been wanting for a long time. So maybe we finally get it. Hopefully.
Maybe we get it. Maybe we get him versus the Tribal Chief. Who knows?
Ooh,
who will Paul Heyman choose?
Yes. That would be interesting.
Who will he choose? And then during the match, CM Punk shows up and he doesn't know what to do and his head explodes.
Yes. All right, so I think that does it for us. We'll be back next week to do our fantasy booking. Until then, hopefully nobody else gets fired. And
Hope not.
yes, this has been Roll Up for the Win. See you guys next time.
See ya.